All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's the first preview video of 2023, and I could not be more excited, right? Hall of Fame game this Thursday, Jets, Browns. By the way, of course, Revis and Klecko being introduced to the Hall of Fame. It doesn't get better than that, right? We're not going to be seeing starters in this game. In fact, the Jets and the Browns both released their starting quarterback, or the quarterbacks that we'll see some time. With the Jets, it's Zach Wilson, Chris Streveler, and Tim Boyle. And then with the Cleveland Browns, it's Kellen Mond and DTR. I think to just kind of jump right into it, for me personally, the biggest storyline is Zach Wilson. We've talked so much about how important the backup quarterback position is in this day and age. For context, last season we saw 64 different starting quarterbacks, not just guys that, had to come in and take a knee really quick, or, somebody lost their helmet. We have to just sub a guy in for a play. 64 different starting QBs. That is insane. That is nuts. So we need to make sure, obviously a lot's riding on this season, next couple of seasons, but we need to make sure that we have a solid plan B at QB2. In the event something happens to A-Rod, it cannot be a lost season, or, everybody saying, oh, season's down the drain. We have to have confidence in that backup. And right now it's looking like it's going to be Zach Wilson. According to Robert Saleh, according to Nathaniel Hackett, according to Aaron Rodgers, it's looking like Zach Wilson is more confident. He's had some really good plays. He's had some really good days so far. And he's also missed a couple throws, right? Especially early on in camp, we were getting a few reporters talking about him bouncing passes, bouncing screen passes, which is, we got a heavy dose of that last season, unfortunately. But I want to see Zach go out there and play within the confines of the offense, right? Be able to process information, distribute the football to the necessary target. I think this is something that we're going to be able to pick up on pretty early. I'm not sure how long Zach Wilson is going to play. Personally, I do want to see a big dose of Zach, because again, he's not the projected starter. This is the Hall of Fame game. I want Zach to get more comfortable. I think at this point in time, going into year 3, I don't want to be, looking at Zach Wilson as a guy who we really need to protect. We have to pull him immediately after like a drive or two and get Streveler in there, get Tim Boyle in there, so we don't wreck his confidence or anything like that. For me, I want to see Zach Wilson pedal to the metal in this Hackett offense, right? At the end of the day, he is going to be playing against backups. He is going to be playing against a pretty vanilla defense. It's not like they're going to be throwing crazy blitzes at him or all these, brand new looks that he's never seen before. Year 3, he's spent weeks now with the Nathaniel Hackett system, learning from Aaron Rodgers. He's going to have weapons to throw around. I mean, from the sound of it, Jason Brownlee's making plays. The Jets wide receiving room right now is pretty deep. So Jeremy Ruckert at tight end, it's not going to be like the Jets are. We're just throwing them to the wolves with guys that are definitely going to be out of the league. I want to see a lot from Zach. Now, am I going to be counting the numbers on the stat sheet? Oh, he better go 10 of 12 for 120 yards with a touchdown. No, I'm not going to be doing that. But it's more so, again, finding the open guy. Is he processing information going up against pretty plain defenses? If he can do that, then it's just a stepping stone. It's just a building block in regards to confidence, right? To get that positive tape out there going into another week of practice, essentially leading into joint practices with the Carolina Panthers for like preseason week 1. If he's struggling, missing wide open guys, not being able to decipher what's happening in front of him, obviously that's going to suck, but he still has weeks to prepare to become the team's backup quarterback in those joint practices and many other preseason games. So I think right now I'm expecting to see a lot of Zach. Saleh literally said he has no expectations for Zach Wilson. Just go out there and continue to do what he's been doing in practice. For me, I do want to see at least a little bit of positivity. I don't want to be walking away from that game thinking to myself like, man, going up against plain defenses, backups, Wilson was absolutely terrible. I might have a pit in my stomach if that's the case. So all in all, I am expecting a solid performance. Okay, next up, Mekhi Becton here. Saleh actually said that Becton will be starting in that game, and the snap count, or the pitch count, if you will be around 20 to 25. So more than one drive here. And it's not so much about how Becton performs, it's more so from the start to when we pull him. How does he look? How is the knee feeling? Does he look like he should be out there? Does he need to come off early? 10 snaps in, if his knee isn't ready to go, that could be troublesome. So apparently, Mekhi Becton is weighing around 350 pounds. It's the lightest he's been since college. So hopefully that helps. But regardless, I really want Becton to go out there and do well. Much like Zach Wilson, if he's out there just getting ripped apart by backup defensive ends, backup linebackers and whatnot, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow. But with Becton, comparing Becton and Wilson are two different things. You know, both, of course, 2 first-round picks, guys with high upsides, guys that haven't really panned out to what a lot of Jets fans hoped initially, but for completely different reasons. With Mekhi Becton, he's went out there and dominated, right? Played at a really, really high level his rookie season, but he's just been injury prone. Like, it's missing so many games, so many practices, so much meaningful snaps. He's just not available, right? Because of the lower half. And then with Zach Wilson, we've seen a lot of Wilson, but the majority of it has been just bad football, to the point where Saleh's pulling him off the field in favor of guys like Mike White and Chris Streveler. So I think for Becton, go out there with that snap count in mind, 20 to 25 plays, and just look solid. Build upon the practices, dominate the man in front of you, and if those two things happen, then good things are going to follow. Of course, I'm also excited to see how like the edge position plays out, the wide receiver depth chart, like so many different things. Joe Tippmann at center, who's been rolling with the threes as of late. But I think to kind of encapsulate it, and this really goes for every preseason game that the Jets play, I want there to be a heightened level of confidence, a heightened level of aggression, a heightened level of attitude. Play with an edge, play fast, play strong, act like you want to be there. With the amount of fights that we've seen at Jets camp so far, that tells me, and by the way, the biggest fight happened in the most recent practice. That tells me that the Jets are ready to go. It's time to line up against a different squad. We're getting tired of playing against our own guys here. So if we can play like that from start to finish, that's a major takeaway. If we do see that, of course, it's a testament to the players, but I think it's a bigger testament to the culture that's in place. There were times last year, there were times in Saleh's first year as well, where it just seemed like there was lackadaisical play. Like the players were forced to be out there, specifically early in games. And I'm not even talking about the preseason, I'm talking about in the regular season. If that can go by the wayside, and we're playing fast from start to finish, everybody's fighting for their roster spots, right? Guys are really fighting to make a team, fighting to make a name for themselves. Whether you're a guy like Becton, Zach Wilson, or you're scrapping and clawing to try to make the practice squad, if you're playing fast, right? If you're showing that speed, that strength on the field, not taking plays off or anything like that, it's going to bode well. It will really, really bode well. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.